Oh, God. Hey, everybody. I'm here for a little morning stream before we did a lot of gaming last night. We're learning how to do tabletop simulator, and Moose got something going on here. Where is this? It looks like a golf course.
What's going on?
Not much. What are you up to?
Oh, hold on.
I wanted to get a stream in before I spent all day
Oh,
steaming.
this is Gary's mod. You got to get this one too.
It's on Steam.
Yeah, it's a
It looks like
physics
it's
thing.
one where you have to know how to work controllers, like shoot things and aim accurately.
Hey, you figured the other one out. You could figure that
Yeah,
out.
but that was just moving things around on a board. This looks like way more coordination.
Let's get
Ooh, look at all that diversity. Is there a black woman? Can we be a black woman? What? Why are you killing black women? Don't do that on my stream. What is this game?
it's called Gary's mod.
What do you do? Get
You
people to
do
heaven? Is it
whatever.
like the rapture?
No, it's
Shoot 'em
just
with your
like the
Jesus gun?
tabletop thing. You just do whatever.
Oh, it's like a sandbox?
Yeah.
I have to admit, I do like it. The freshness and originality. It's not like a normal game. Well, hello everybody. We're gonna it's still open panel if you want to
Oh
come up
yeah.
and
It's open
talk.
panel. So
Well,
what's going on? Let's talk
oh,
about how it went last night. We
I
played
think it went great. I'm excited. I practiced with Cosmic Encounter a little bit, and I've figured out how to pretty much set it up. The only thing I can't do is fucking control the board. I still can't figure out how to turn the board and see the parts of it that I need to see when I need to see it. It's learning how to control the board.
yeah. Well, I think there has to be a YouTube tutorial on it or something. I'll
It's a
watch it.
Jeff thing. It's a. I don't think I'm using all the controls. I think there's other controls that help navigate the board that I'm not aware of because all I use is the arrows and the mouse wheel. So I think it's going to come down to that, really. Let me see that car. Wow. Can you make them race? That looks fun, actually.
Oh shit.
So yeah, guys, if you're out there or girl, any whatever genders y'all are, um, we might be doing some Steam games today in Discord. So if once we get better at like our Steam game, we'll start streaming some games too. I think that'll be fun.
Well, the big thing is we started with Uno and we
Hmm.
did pretty well, and that's a game that anybody can figure out how to play.
Yeah, we
It's
could even do that here on the stream. And sorry too, I think would be easy.
sorry. We have sorry as well.
And then there is Monopoly. So at some point, I suppose Powers Monopoly is possible. That's the only one I would play. And then there was that crazy, insane Monopoly game it had like 5 or 6 boards and how many tokens? Like 50 different tokens,
Like
hundreds and hundreds of properties.
hundreds of properties, but it had calculators and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
every player got their own personal calculator,
Whoa.
and the board was like the regular Monopoly board, and then it had like 3 or 4 boards around it with other properties that you could move on to, and then they had a London bridge that took you to another board, and if you went to jail, there was a whole little jail board. Uh, it it's it's something to work up to. In fact, it was so much. I think Joe. That's about when Joe checked out.
Yep. Joe totally checked out on us. And I got to check out on you, unfortunately, because these girls are starving.
Yes,
And
go take care. Go take care of
I
your
thought they
girls.
were going to give me a few more minutes, but they're not. So I'll be right back.
Okay, y'all enjoy. Is he? Are you leaving? Are you going down? All right, we'll just leave him there. So yeah, let me check the news, all that stuff. Oh yeah, I saw that Elon Musk gave away $1 million. He's giving $1 million a day for signing his petition. He gave away $1 million to somebody at the rally. Um, then there is that thing about documents being linked to Iran about Israel's plans, and some people are saying Israel is not dumb enough to give the real plans to the U.S. in the first place. Ooh, they struck Hezbollah's intelligence headquarters, a weapons factory. Yeah, I'm very impressed with Israel. I support them more and more. They seem to have even more resolve sometimes than the U.S. does. Um, I admire their defense of their nation. Very impressive. Israel, I support you. Okay, let's see. Maybe I have some tweets. Yeah, here's one. The Electoral College is in the Constitution. You cannot abolish the Electoral College without getting rid of the Constitution. What they actually think is that the Constitution is antiquated and useless. States can decide how to portion their electors, and if all the states agreed to divide their electoral votes proportionally, then the Electoral College would always mirror the popular vote. But states won't all do it, so it will still be the Electoral College. You would have to have either very red states and very blue states agree to this to stop the swing states, or the swing states would have to all agree to stop being swing states. Not likely to happen. I also think it would fall apart the first time California had to give all its electors to the GOP when 65% of California voters voted for Democrats. Okay, let's see. Oh, here's a chart I'd like to show. Hey, Mike. Oh, Moose, do you want me to take you off? Are you out of here? I can leave it up for now. It's a neat little background. Um, I want to show you this chart. Yeah, Mike, you're welcome to play. If you have Steam, you're welcome to play games with us. Look at this. Fentanyl has become the number one cause of overdose deaths. Wow. When I was growing up, it was the heroin overdoses that you heard about. They're way down here at the bottom. And then I've had a few friends of friends, acquaintances die of cocaine. So I'm personally familiar with a few cocaine overdoses. But look at this. Per 100,000 people, so that's like 40 per 100,000 people. Most people are so used to fluffy, indirect, sugar coated speech that direct adult communication feels like an attack. Amen, amen, hallelujah, hail Satan, Christ is King. And that is from a female tweeter, Surut Chala. She's a great follow. She mental health person. Okay, I think that's all the tweets I have for you. Oh no, Mike, it's board games. We played Uno. We played a little bit of Monopoly. Um, and we started Sorry. It's a thing called Tabletop Simulator, and so to learn it, it's easier to start with some very basic games and then work your way up. We have one of our gamers now. How you doing?
Hey, I was over in Canes.
Do what?
I said I was just over at Canes. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah, I saw you over there. Oh, Kane's streaming too, by the way. If y'all, I just wanted to get my morning stream out of the way in case I got caught up in Steam the rest of the day, which I see is very possible. I'm also getting a low signal, so I don't know if y'all are able to hear me. So did you ever wash your army hat?
I did.
Okay.
I can put it on now.
It's up to you. There might be some ladies watching. I don't know how many ladies watch this channel, but I suspect some of this drama stuff actually is biologically driven, let's say.
Probably the only ladies are the ones who also hate women.
I notice a lot of the people they target are not exactly homely people. You stopped what? So you were. I'm just now getting into it. So y'all may not see. Somebody might need to come pull me out of the Steam void. Um, I've had Steam for a while and I've played a few games with friends, co-op stuff. But the tabletop simulator I've been trying to learn forever. And Joe and Moose helped me learn it last night. By the way, I got most of Cosmic Encounter set up on my own. The only problem I'm having now is how to navigate the board, like how to turn the board to the areas that I need to see at any given time. And but the actual components and everything else, I've figured out how to set up. Hey Chuck, good to see you. Kane, you as well.
Hmm.
Um, I am ashamed slash proud to say I don't know what any of those are. I know Madden is some football guy. Destiny is a YouTube streamer that I can't stand, and I've heard of Call of Duty, but I don't know anything
Those are
about
all
it.
game titles too. So Destiny is a game, Madden is a game, Call of Duty is a game.
Ah, okay.
Destiny just also happens to be the name of that same
Did he
TV
name
show.
himself after the game, or just
It's
coincidence?
possible. I think Destiny came out around the time he started his channel, but it could just be he
Oh,
likes the word Destiny.
Chuck, I don't think you'll have that issue in Tabletop Simulator because it's just board games. Oh, and another game. If anybody's interested in play it, I have a history with this game. It's Mahjong. When I was in college, I had a friend whose mom played Mahjong with the Jewish ladies in my town. And they would invite us to play. And we became so addicted to that game. We all went out and bought Mahjong sets. And we played for years with the ladies in town. So I love me some Mahjong. I think it was the Jewish version, not the Chinese version. Yeah, we did have, what is it, Texas Hold'em? There's a gaming channel in the Discord, so if anybody ever sees us, just feel free to stop in the gaming channel, or we'll put the games in the we'll announce the games as we play them or something. Hey Zach, there's also a couple of co-op games that I have. I don't know if other people have to buy it as well to play, but you play it with two people, and it's kind of an escape the room game where you're each at different parts of the building and you have to work together to get out. Those are really fun. So those are the gaming options currently on the table. Top. So, what's going on with your day today?
Um, well, not a whole lot. I hopped into Kane's stream not long after I got up, and then I thought I would check this one out since I saw you post the link, and you even came up in Shane's feed for a bit. He was looking at your video,
Oh
this
my.
stream.
Oh, which
Yeah,
one?
like this one right now. He took a look at it.
The one right now with me and Moose playing games.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, Kane's audience, if you're still watching, like and subscribe. Let's see. Um, it's a Do you have Steam, Chuck? It's a Steam game. It simulates actual board games. So it has like this virtual table, and it has all the board game pieces on this table, and you have this little like hand cursor that moves the pieces around as if you were all sitting in a room together playing games. Hey, Ladybug, how are you? Yeah, I have my mod. I'm putting together a pretty impressive mod team. I gotta say, so far we haven't had any drama in like a whole week. It feels great. I never want to go back to that. Oh, okay. How old is he? If he like, send him the Discord if you want, and he can join us. All right, it's Sunday. I'm not going to be on for too long, so I'm going to give this a try. What's up, Mike?
What's up? What's going on, guys? Good to see you.
Just chilling on a Sunday.
Yeah, good to see you. Yeah, I'm waiting until 1 o'clock. My Giants are playing the Eagles, so we'll see what happens. But
New York Giants, Philadelphia Eagles.
yeah. Other than that,
How
what's
did I
going
know
on?
that? Wow. Not much. We're just talking about gaming.
Yeah, I made a comment, and yeah, gaming's awesome. Some of the best memories I can remember is like being young and just playing Monopoly, like the board game, and playing. What was the one? What was the strategy game? Where it was like war.
Sorry was one of our favorites. We had a lot of fun with that one. And they had
Oh.
one called Trouble. It had this little like plastic dome you mash, and it would make the dice roll.
And then
Um,
remember playing Connect Four?
I love Connect Four. I love
All
Pickup
right. And
Sticks.
ah,
Kerplunk.
so Monopoly was the longest. Like if you played
I
Monopoly,
hated Monopoly. That was like
you're
the
playing,
grown-up game.
yeah, you're playing for 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah,
But
we did
I
the
used
other
to,
day.
I used to love Battleship. Remember Battleship? We played
Oh
that.
my God, I love
Yeah.
Battleship. I forgot. I bet does tabletop have that? There's probably a version of that.
Yeah, Battleship
Yeah.
was awesome. And you sink in the ships, and it's just
Hey,
cool.
Tommy.
Yeah.
I never played. I know Stratego, but I've never played it. And then we had games like Operation, and we had one. It was
Stratego.
Jaws. It was a big shark, and you had to fish junk out of its mouth, and eventually, at some point, it would snap shut on you, and you'd lose.
Stratego was
Tommy D,
amazing.
Salute.
What's up?
what's up?
Stratego was amazing because
What's up, guys?
it did teach you strategy. It did. Stratego was about how to maneuver through the game. So
Oh, you had
Stratego,
Jaws. Oh, I remember Hungry Hippo. My brothers had
yeah,
that
Can't
one.
wait for 1 o'clock, Mike.
it's great. It's awesome.
What time is it
Eagles.
there? Noon.
It's 12:20.
Oh, it's coming up. Okay. Are
Yeah,
y'all doing
Eagles game's coming up at 1. I'm psyched up for it.
It's all,
Hopefully
Is
we
this?
win.
Are you Philly? Are you Eagles?
Oh yeah, I'm from
And he's
Philadelphia.
Giants.
Yeah, it's a sports rivalry thing. It's been going along for a long time.
I don't know who to root for now. I like you both.
well,
Philly has better
Make a
cheesesteaks. That might
choice.
sway me.
Because
you should. Well,
Philly
you
might
should.
lose. They're not playing well, to be honest. I'm hoping
Oh.
they don't.
Well,
Jeff, you
maybe
should
I'll
be.
root for them because give them the extra boost.
Jeff, you should be a Seahawks fan because you're in
Yeah.
you're
I
in
hate snow. Me, Seattle? No, hell no.
you're in
I
Washington
hate it
State.
up here.
Yeah.
I hope they lose
They're actually a really
every
good
game
team.
the rest of their career. I'm going to put a
That's funny.
satanic curse on them.
Are
Satanic
those?
curse.
Listen. I was watching a video. I was watching a video on YouTube, of course. And do you think those are really real? Like people can really cast spells on people? I'm just asking you. Do you think that stuff's
I don't
actual?
know.
All, all I'm going to say is I'm from Louisiana, and we have voodoo where I come from. And I'll leave it at that.
It's a matter of faith. Do you believe it?
There may be a chicken with your name on it. There may not be.
Yeah,
But
but
I
they have
think
these videos where people take over other people's bodies, and I don't know if the other
That's
person's in on it or if it's real.
of course
That's what
they're
I
in
want to know.
on it. Like
Yeah.
those fake exorcisms that they.
Yes, exactly, Jeff. Exactly.
well, Jeff,
That's
oh,
more
you
fake
know,
than wrestling.
Exactly. I
no,
don't even like it looks ridiculous.
I don't know.
Oh my
I don't know.
God! Oh yes! Oh, all those. Oh, we had all those card games. Those were fun too.
I don't know. I don't know if Joe is a Christian or not. I don't know. But me and Tommy are the Christians up here, Catholics, Christians. But
Christian Satanists here.
do you believe that some exorcisms are actually real? They're actually real. Like
No,
there's a
because I'd have
demon.
to
I
believe
don't
that
know.
people could actually be possessed by real demons instead of human nature.
Some people think it's mental illness. Some people think it's a real demon that took over the person.
I truly believe in my heart of hearts. I believe if you let
Is open
evil
if you want
in, if you let it in, it'll take over you. If you let it in, but if you don't let it in, it can't. And that's what God talks about free will. That's just my opinion. I could be
Oh my
completely wrong.
God, this topic keeps like I've been in like 5 free will conversations in the last 2 days, and that was one of my arguments. It was, well, didn't God Himself give us free? One of it was with, I think it was a Christian that was not free will.
The one thing that I can tell you is God is the most complicated thing in my life. I mean, I can't figure out how to be, what to do, what decision to make. But I think He does it on purpose.
You're like you left Catholicism, right?
Well, the thing is that I was talking to somebody, and they said, "Well, Christianity is Catholic. It's the same thing.
It
You,
is.
yeah, it's the same thing. It's
Okay.
just I don't believe in confession. That's the only difference I have. I am
Right.
Roman Catholic. I was baptized. I just don't believe that you can go out and you can K-word 6 people and go behind a shade and say, you know what, my bad.
But
I
I
don't
don't think
believe.
that's how confession works. That doesn't
Let me
absolve
ask
you
you
of.
this. Do you believe God can forgive somebody if they're honestly sorry for what they did? Like, that's the whole idea behind confession. It's you and
I
God, you know, I think.
I
If
think if
there's no,
humans can do it, God should certainly be able to do it.
so
And
you're
I've seen
asking,
humans do
so
it before.
Tom, you're asking if there's no malice in your heart, if there's no hatred in your heart, you completely confess.
Yeah, like God knows if you're sorry. He sees in your soul.
Exactly. God's the master. God holds all the cards. He knows exactly where you're coming from before you even enter the room.
That's the idea behind
So
confession.
you're right. Do I think you could be absolved? Yeah, I think you can. But I think some things possibly can't.
Does
You
he
just don't
know
like
if
going to another guy and having him have that power to do it, like a priest. You don't jive with that. I
What's
get
that? Say
that.
it again.
Like, you don't believe a priest can make, like, a person to do
Yes,
that.
I don't believe a mortal human being can absolve your sins. It has to come from him himself.
There you go.
That's what I'm trying to say. It has to come from the divine being, whatever you want to call him. And with Christianity, it's very interesting because Christians, we're probably the most vicious people that ever lived.
I noticed that like a lot of the people
Yeah.
that are Christians seem way more satanic than I am.
Because
Like maybe they need the Christianity and I need the Satanism.
I can't explain it. If you go into the Knights Templar were basically the most savage MFers you've ever seen. And they wore a cross, a big red cross in their
Yeah.
chest. But
The
they were
Crusades were vicious.
The
savage.
Crusades. The
Yeah,
Crusades.
savage. They were
Yeah.
savages.
Yeah.
But
That was horrible.
they but they also forgave themselves for what they're doing because they think they're doing it for the church. But let me ask you gentlemen this. Is the church a business or is it truly forgiveness? So I don't
Well,
know.
the church is loaded, so
Yeah.
They take
I would
donations.
say I don't think it's just forgiveness.
I
They're
see this
sitting
as
on they're
very,
sitting on a lot.
it's a loaded question. And the Vatican allegedly is supposed to have secrets from
The Snake
like
Temple.
so many people, like so many people.
Oh,
And
like Epstein Island,
And they
but
cover up, too.
yeah,
writ
yeah.
large.
If you buy into the church, if you donate, this is allegedly, then they kind of give you a pass. And I know this is going to
I
sound
doubt. That sounds like conspiracy theories.
Yeah,
no, it's
I don't
allegedly.
know
In
about
other words, if
that.
somebody is going to be crucified and
That
somebody's
would
going to
have
be
come to light by now. Like they can't hide
Yeah.
that many years
what?
and
I
not
But
have
they
it.
have
mean,
covered things up, Jeff.
Jeff, I mean, if there's popes that
You
got caught
know?
diddling
Get
popes.
that.
Well,
Like, the child thing that they cover up,
Yeah,
that's been
yeah.
proven.
yeah, but that happens everywhere. It happens in education. It happens anywhere
I
that adults
understand
I
have
that.
know, and
access to
why does it
children.
happen? It's horrible that it happens.
I,
But you're supposed to be the
yeah.
highest of the high. You're supposed to be the highest decision maker in Christianity, in Catholic, whatever you want to call it. But why is this person doing it? Now, is it because when they suppress The celibacy. In other words, when you can't be with a woman, does it make somebody possibly, allegedly, turn to what's in front of them, which is
Why do
what?
some do it and some don't then?
I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't know.
know,
The way I understand it, it's kind of its own orientation, just like
Mhm.
gay was.
Yeah,
People either have it or they don't. People that don't have it are probably not going to
but
turn to that.
Exactly.
Jeff, that's not gay. That's the
No,
thing. If a
it's the
man
maps.
or two women or two men want to be together and they're of legal age or whatever, that's not perversion. That's just someone who wants to be with someone that they find attractive.
Yeah, I agree.
But to prey on innocence is the
Well,
problem.
I'll tell you where the real concern needs to come from right now is the queer theorists, because they have an entire they do there's an entire academic discipline at colleges that you can major in and get a degree in, and they write papers and they do studies, and it's all about questioning this concept of childhood innocence. They believe children are born naturally sexual, that
Mhm.
there's no that the fact that children are innocent sexually is a myth created by the patriarchy, and the sooner that you allow their natural sexuality to emerge, the healthier it is for the child, and you're liberating them from the false construct of the patriarchy. This is queer theory, or one strain of queer theory.
I can't.
Which is
That's why the
basically
maps there's a push for the maps and to normalize maps, the drag queen story hour, all that. They want to introduce sexuality and sexual identity to kids as early as possible so that natural sexuality can flourish.
I don't know
Joe.
about that.
Yeah, Joe. What do you think?
I think some of what Jeff said is true. I think that there are people who are
All of what I said is
pedophiles
true.
that
I have extensively documented. I've done streams on it. I've done Twitter threads on it. There's not a single part of what I've said that's
No,
not true
no,
that
no,
I
no.
can't have that I can't show receipts for.
so my statement that some of what you said is true doesn't mean I think the part that isn't is untrue. It just means that in terms of what I can recognize as true, it's only some of it
Oh,
from where I am right now.
oh wait, hang on
Um,
real quick. Church of Four, welcome. You were missing in action, and people have been asking about you. It's good to see you again. All right, go ahead.
um, yeah. So with that said, I do think there's a lot of people who are pedophiles probably can't help it, and it is possible that um, I think what Mike said that in some cases people who are restricted from sexuality come up with very unhealthy ways of expressing it and maybe turn to pedophilia when they might otherwise have not done that. Um, everyone's an individual case, and we're talking about something that's been around, a church that's been around for 2 millennia now, right? Um, but I think that because of the natural um, basis for some of pedophilia, it's leading to this movement among people who want to question everything, which is people on the left that the pedophiles have gotten in on, and it's become harder to distinguish between what is pro pedophile and what is like just allowing queer people to do their own thing.
Hmm. And Joe, I think that, and just if you want me to say this, I think there's two different types of
Hmm.
pedos. I think there are people that are mentally ill, like just mentally ill, and I think there are people that have been abused themselves. They've been abused, so then they carry that abuse on forward, and I think that's a really sad thing. So if you say to me, should a pedo be um, uh, forgiven. I can't say that because I have kids, but what if this person was abused their whole childhood and they only
At some
replicated?
point, you're an adult and you're responsible for whether you're abused or
Yeah.
not.
You're
Whatever
right.
your background
You're
is, you have
right.
every adult is accountable for their own actions. There's
But
nothing
that,
excuses us from that, unless you're
that's,
declared mentally
no,
incompetent
no,
or
I
something.
don't agree with that whatsoever. But I mean, that's the rub. If someone's abused their entire life and then they abuse someone else, is it not perpetuating
They can get
the
therapy.
They
There's
should
plenty
know
of
what
people that are
like
abused
want to
that
do
get
yeah,
it.
recover from it.
yeah.
Yeah. Don't they know the
It's
pain?
just it's a terrible thing to think about because there are people I think that have been in those situations. I've never been, I'm saying, but there's people that have been in those situations that it's almost like they're helpless in a way
I don't
to,
feel. You know me. I don't do victim mentality anyway, so I don't
yeah.
have a lot of sympathy for people that use abuse as an excuse for
Me
their
either.
actions. What were you gonna say, Tommy?
No, you're an adult, and you should know what it is to be abused, the pain you went through,
Yeah.
and you shouldn't want to do that to someone else. I never could understand that.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I've never been in that situation. I've never been put in that situation. But it's just when you think about it as a case study, when you think about it, it's like, man, that person is damaged. They're screwed up for the rest of their life. So what are they going to do? Do they
They're going
stay
to stay
safe?
at the bottom of that red zone with all the other damaged people that I keep showing in that chart, and they're not going to be on this channel.
I got
There's
you.
help out
I
there.
got you. But the
There's
whole
help
point
out
is,
there
Ah,
the whole
for
point is,
people.
we're just spitballing. We're just talking about it. That's all we're doing is just
Yeah,
talking.
Yeah.
I'm kind of ready to move on from this topic anyway, but it's
All right, no problem.
good. I guess it's good to mention now and then.
Yeah, it's good to discuss
But
things.
but queer theory is where it's when they started bringing the gay stuff around the kids and the earlier and earlier and earlier ages of kids, and then there's this agenda behind it that's laid out in their academic writings paired with that.
No, Jeff, did you? Let me ask you this: do you think people are born gay, or they're
Yeah, I
if they
think
find out?
sexual attraction is natural. We all have it,
I can tell you this:
or most of us.
I never thought about having relations till I was like maybe 12, 13 years old. Around preteen.
Yeah, around puberty.
Yeah, but I don't
Puberty.
understand why they're talking to
I don't
6,
either.
7,
I
8 year
don't
olds.
either. And because
Yeah.
even being gay, if somebody had talked to me at 6 years old, I wouldn't. It would have. I would have not made sense of any. None of it would have meant anything to me without having gone through puberty and then having that sexual basis to understand what they were talking about. It would have
Well,
just confused me. I don't think that. But they don't believe that kids are innocent. That's part of the problem.
Jeff, I don't know how to say this, but I'm going to say it. You are like one of the coolest gay dudes ever met. Like you're just. I
The
mean,
cool
you're
gay
just.
Satanist.
Yeah, no, you're like a gay Satan dude that makes sense all the time. It's like
He's so
this
cool.
shouldn't work this way. We should not get along. We should be arguing right now and fighting.
But gays and straights been getting along for decades now. Like maybe in
I
the
know.
'80s,
Yeah,
but not
that
in the
all went
modern
away a
world.
long
It's not
time
weird.
ago. The whole bigotry.
Shiva, I am speaking for myself for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't.
No,
And plus, I was 100% gay. I'm super gay. I've never had any attraction to a woman at all.
you're
So if
super gay.
it sounds like you might have
Yeah,
been more bi, where there kind of was that choice available to you that wasn't to me.
I have never looked at a man and wanted a man in that way. But I can
Yeah,
look at
because
a
you're straight.
man and say I can look at a man and say, that's a good looking dude. I wish I looked like that guy. Like a Brad Pitt or something like that. But like I don't feel any kind of attraction there.
Right.
There's
That is
nothing
normal
there.
for a straight
Yeah.
guy. Very
But
normal.
to be like you said, to be super gay, you should have a little gay cape and fly around and do whatever you got to do. You
It
a
just
know?
gay
super
cape.
gay is a term for never having been with a woman.
I know,
He
but
said
you
a
could
gay
be.
cape.
But Jeff, you could be the first gay superhero, like just flying around
What
where
are
you
you
There's been gay
talking
superheroes.
yeah,
Come on.
yeah, just
Um,
snapping your finger, just
Shiva, I would call this bi. This,
Yo!
Jeff.
who
From now
knows? Wear my
on,
antlers and a cape,
Jeff. From now on, you are gay
prance
Superman.
around.
You're gay Superman. From now on, that's it. That's
Oh
it.
my
You
god.
are gay
Oh my
Superman.
God! Yes, I remembered that one too. I think I only liked the first one. That was what
Revenge of the
1984.
Nerds is awesome.
Yeah, the whole nerd subculture in high school. I forgot,
Ogre.
but I was part of it.
Remember when the little guy, the African American guy, he ran and he had the he had the javelin.
Lambda, lambda, lambda.
Yeah,
Oh my
Lambda
god,
Lambda.
man! What a great movies those were great.
Oh, okay. So it started out, but in at puberty you were attracted to both.
Okay, see, how does that, Jeff? How does that work? How
Sexuality is
no,
complicated and diverse.
you
That's
see
what
it,
point the woke have, I think.
It's
It's way
unique.
more diverse than our little social categories
but
take account for.
do
Yes.
you think it's taught? It's taught to like both and stuff like that. Like back in the day,
I don't think you can teach desire. Like, can you teach someone to like a food that they
you
don't like?
You can't
Yeah,
force that.
yeah. No,
You could
you
force him to
can.
eat it, but I don't know if you could force him to
You
enjoy
can't
it.
force them to like it.
If you have an Italian father, he'll smack you in the back of the head if you're looking at a guy. He'll smack the shit out of you. I mean, I'm just saying.
If he just
But
sees you looking at, do parents pay attention to that, like who their
they
kids?
do. Parents, we're very observant. We're very observant. See, Jeff, you don't
I
have
pay
kids yet,
attention to
right? You don't have
everything,
any
Joe.
kids.
Mine weren't. We got away with all
I
kind of
watch my kids
stuff.
close. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm super, dude. I swear to God, I
It's a
swear to God,
dangerous world out there.
I swear to God, I will call my son right when he was dialing me. Like, like you're
Oh, you'll have that
connected.
link?
You're connected to your children.
Yeah, I don't have that with
I'll
mine.
call him. Son, what's going on? I was about to call you. I was about to talk to you about this, about that. And it's it's always women stuff or like mom stuff. It's always a freaking woman. It's always a woman. But no, the whole thing, like the relationship stuff, and I try to tell them the best I can.
I,
Hey,
I suppose somebody could acquire the taste. I don't think most people would have the natural motivation to acquire it in the first place. But there's a lot of kinky people that try all kind of stuff and might acquire it. Hey, Shiva, what's up?
Good evening.
but
How you
Jeff,
been?
dudes
Well,
have to be. Go
I've
ahead.
been
hang on,
well,
Mike. I
thanks.
want to get Shiva in.
What up,
What's
Steve?
up?
I've been well, thanks. I actually came up to contradict you on something slightly.
Okay.
In that I think some likes and dislikes are learned behaviors, and the reason why I think this is about 20 years ago, I used to know a family, and they had 3 kids, and 2 of the kids were like, I don't know, 9 or 10, something like that. But one was a baby, like a toddler, like about a year old, maybe, on solid food. So the baby was eating the same food as the older kids, so old enough to eat like proper food. Now the baby would eat anything, but one mealtime, part of the meal that was served was peas, green peas.
Hmm.
And the older kids, they were pulling faces and going, "Oh no, I don't like peas, ew!" And then from that point onwards, having observed that behavior, the baby refused to eat peas.
Well,
So
the claim wasn't that behavior can't be learned. It was that attraction is natural.
right, but attraction is
Like,
a
I'm not
form of,
saying there's not exceptions here or there, like people can't acquire
yeah.
certain tastes through conditioning or experimentation, and edge case an exception. But in general, just like for the majority of people, the male female binary works for 98% of the population. I think attraction, taste, desire is primarily it's our natural instincts and impulses, and
Well,
that's
I
the only
think
point I
it
was making.
can partly it's our natural instincts and impulses, and partly it's learned behaviors.
Some of it
I
can be, yeah,
think,
but
yeah, because we're all fairly complex beings, and we're
yeah.
conditioned by
And
different
I only have
factors.
my own sexuality to go off of, and I know it's been constant as long as I've been aware of it.
Yeah, and again, my experience would differ from yours in that when I was a teenager, when I used to fantasize during masturbation in puberty,
Yes.
I'd fantasize about men and women, but then over a period of time, there was a definite, like a kind of series of decisions that were like, well, I'm going to fantasize about this sex, favoring one sex over the other. And then post puberty, I was exclusively homosexual with like
Was it just like a
no,
natural progression?
there was definitely, because during the masturbatory sessions, there would be a decision made in my mind. I would choose one, like that there was a choice made,
So
several
like different
times.
images would come to your mind, and you would consciously choose to follow the one instead of the other.
Yeah.
Did you try to go to female because of society, and then the male just over? Is that like kind of like what happened?
No, I mean, yes, but no. So when I was growing up, it wasn't cool to be gay. You risked being beaten up if people found out. So
exactly.
until my mid-20s, I pretended that I was straight, had sex with women, and never ever enjoyed it.
Okay, there you go. That makes sense. Probably happens for a lot of people around your age and stuff that are gay.
Yeah, I
Hey,
mean,
Mr. B.
yeah. I don't understand that anybody that wants answers. I don't understand how anybody could like both sexes. Like either you're one or the other. I
Well,
don't get.
I was always
That's
envious of bisexual. I wanted the full spectrum.
That's
Like I was
sexual
so
freedom.
jealous that
I
they got
mean,
all of it, and I only
There
got
you
this
go.
one little half of it.
and I think it's worth pointing out, Mike, that that's clearly not the case.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like either you have to put your heart into something,
Yeah, but
and
you can put your heart into both sexes, right? You can put your heart into just liking sex with
I
anyone.
don't believe that you could be a gay man and like women. I don't
No, you
believe
would
that.
be a
Well, no, you
You
would
would be
be, yeah,
bisexual. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
would be a bisexual man, but those people clearly exist, right? I
But the
mean,
thing
you
is
must
that,
admit
but
them.
this is the thing. This is the rub, Shiva. I've known a ton. It's almost like every woman is bi. Like it's the
Well, we
weirdest
talked
Well,
thing.
about that
that's
yesterday. I
clearly,
looked at some studies, and they are saying that women's sexuality is more heteroflexible than men. They believe
I find that too. A lot
I
because
more
it
yeah.
think.
helps them
natural.
form the relationships they need to like keep
Well,
the children and society
I
going.
mean,
So it's
Mike,
to
Mike,
their advantage if they can pair bond with any gender.
it was. It's
can you understand people worshipping Satan, Mike?
people worshiping Satan. Well, Satan's a god. It's not my
Yeah,
god.
but yeah,
Yeah.
well, no, Satan isn't a god. Satan is a fallen angel. But can you understand people worshipping him?
Can I understand people will be attracted to it?
No, that's not what I'm. That's not
Can you
that's
understand
not what
people
I'm.
worshiping Satan?
Yeah, of course. I mean, people can
So
worship what they
if
want.
if you can understand that, why can't you understand someone being bisexual? Because that seems to be me
I
to be
didn't say
part of.
that. I didn't say it's just confusing. It's a question. Can someone like both? Can
Maybe I
someone?
No?
misunderstood. Maybe I misunderstood what you were saying because it seemed
So
like
is
that you were.
somebody so is
You sounded
bisexuality.
skeptical that somebody could like both genders.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you a homosexual or are you
No,
straight?
you're
So
no, you're
no,
bisexual.
let me finish. You're asking me a question. Let me finish.
Yeah.
So how is there
Okay.
a middle now? How is there an invented middle?
You
Oh,
can like
that's
How are
easy
we
to
you
answer.
can
both?
like two
That's
things. You can
easy.
like apples and oranges.
That yeah,
Yeah.
but you're assuming that
Right.
sexual
Well,
attraction is a
right. Right.
binary.
I
Hang
think
on, Mike,
I
Mike,
Wait,
think
let
Mike,
him
of
hang on.
finish. Let him
anyone.
finish.
Let me
Right.
No.
respond, please, Mike.
You're good. You're
Let me
good. You're good.
respond.
I think of
So
as
no,
a
Wait,
Mike, Mike,
hang,
Mike, Mike, Mike.
Mike. Go ahead, Shiva.
He's assuming that sexual attraction is a binary proposition
Oh.
when that's clearly not the case. People seem to like a range of different things, many of which
What?
I don't like. You know.
It's
Yeah.
a spectrum between two binaries, like two poles. I get. There's still a binary, but the attraction can lie in any combination between the two binaries.
I'm not sure that it is
Well, there's no third
ultimately
sex
binary.
to be attracted to,
There is. There's asexuality.
Well,
but that's
And I
not an
think
transex.
we
attraction. That would
well
just be
no, but
androgyny, which is a blend of
no
there's
no no no
androgyny,
no.
there's male, there's female, and then there's no attraction at all.
Androgyny isn't to do with what you're attracted to. It's to do with your own physical
I
shape,
have
like
friends
your
that are
form, right?
specifically attracted to females that are androgynous looking, or males that look,
Right. Okay.
or males with.
Yeah.
So
And then
I
there's
have
a.
friends that are specifically attracted to androgyny, and to like gender ambiguity, and
What
if they
about
appear too male or female in one direction or the other, they lose the attraction.
what about people who are attracted to what's the term sapience? So they're
Oh yeah,
attracted
I'm a
to people,
sapiosexual.
right?
But
So
that's not a
that's
I don't
not.
consider that a gender. Because
Well, no,
you can
but
have fetishes like you're attracted to feet. That's not a gender either. You're attracted to rubber
What
or
about
right,
leather.
but
transsexual?
it could
Those are
be
not
that you're
genders.
it could be that you're attracted to feet no matter whether those feet are attached to a man or a woman, which uh, right, because some people are weird,
I wouldn't know.
right?
I'm assuming that it's the feet of the gender of the person you're attracted to. But I don't know.
I would
I don't have
imagine
that
that for the
fetish.
vast majority of people who have a foot fetish, I would imagine that that is the case. I mean, but
Do we have any foot fetishes out there that can weigh in? Are you attracted to the feet of the gender you're not attracted? Like if you're gay, are you attracted to women's feet? Or if you're
do you reckon
straight,
that's the
would you be
case?
attracted to a man's foot?
You could be some kind of weird dom, right? Not dom, the other one, sub.
Yeah, all of that is possible in the kink world.
Joe, how are you finding this conversation? Pleased to meet you. I'm Shiva. I'm from the England.
It's interesting to see how people have different ideas about it, even now because of how complex it's gotten, and how
What's
there are
up?
still things that people don't know. Like it was interesting that mentioning asexuality kind of threw Jeff for a loop for a second there. I don't. Maybe that was just my reading of it, but yeah, there's like just a lot of different things now.
Which would kind of
What about
indicate it's not a
asexuality?
binary, right? Well,
It
I'm
seems
saying
like
that asexuality is a sexuality. Sorry, Joe.
I'm not
Actually,
saying that, the categories of sexuality are binary. I'm saying the objects of attraction. You have two genders, two sexes, male and female. There's not a
Mhm.
third, within the
What
human
about
species at least, there's
transsexual?
not a third type of
Well,
gender or sex to be attracted to. It's all a
I
combination of male and female.
No
I agree with
transsexual?
You
you,
can
and
be
if you're
attracted to
limiting,
things in addition to male and female, but if you're talking about the human form, there's only
Okay.
two to pick from.
Yeah, but
what?
transsexuals are
Yes,
both.
but what if you're attracted to
Sorry.
motor cars?
Whatever.
Some
Do what?
people have a. Some people. I
Mike,
don't know
I'm
what.
listen. I'm taking you off. Just try again another day. It's too disruptive. I can't hear follow the conversation. All right, go
Some
ahead.
people. I'm sure there's a term for it, and I could probably Google it quickly. But some people are attracted to inanimate objects, aren't they?
Yeah,
And
I wouldn't call it
that
a
doesn't have
gender.
a gender.
I would call
Yeah,
it a
it's
Well,
not.
no.
fetish.
So I suppose if you're restricting attraction only to the gender variable, then I would agree with you. But to me, it seems apparent that attraction seems to be much broader than
Yeah,
even I
I
can
agree. I'm
really
not limiting
understand.
attraction to the gender
Yeah.
variable. I'm saying if the gender part of attraction, there's only those two variables. But I'm not limiting attraction to that. People are
So
attracted to all kind of things. People are attracted to animals.
Oh.
transsexual is
Well,
just a
yes.
fetish then. That could be a fetish. They're all fetishes. They're just fetishes. Animals included.
Hey,
Do
attract.
you know
What's up?
the the etymology of the word fetish?
No. I'll look it up though.
It means like charm or spell, doesn't it?
Oh, right, because they would use it in magic too.
From the Latin, probably.
Material object regarded with awe as having mysterious powers, or being representative
No,
of a deity that may be worshipped.
that's definition. Can you put the word etymology after it? etymology.
Made by art, artificial, to make, produce, facere.
Fetish is the fetish. The etymology of the word fetish is to make by art.
Yeah, to make.
All right. Okay. Early 17th century, originally denoting an object used by the peoples of West Africa as an amulet or charm, from French fetiche, from the Portuguese fatigo, charm or sorcery. Originally an adjective meaning made by art, from the Latin. I don't know how you would pronounce this. Probably factitious.
Yeah, like manufacture, fiction. The French have it in fait. A lot of words are fait, fair. That's
Yeah.
a construction that shows up with in French a lot. To make. In fact, back home, being Cajun, we make groceries. Like I'm going to the store to make groceries, and it comes from the French. It's like the English translation of how you would say it in French.
I think in America, your word for tap is also from the French, isn't it?
Tap.
Faucet.
TAP.
Well, we call it a tap. You call it a faucet. It reads like it should be from French.
Oh yeah, I don't know anybody that calls it a tap here on. The faucet, like the sink, the thing that comes out of the
Yeah,
sink, the faucet.
yeah,
But they do call it tap water. I've heard people call it tap water, but they
yeah,
call the
because it
thing
comes
the
from the tap.
faucet.
Yeah. Which is, but if you put the same object into a tree to extract the sap, that's a tap, isn't it?
If you put it in what? Oh,
Like to extract, say,
like
maple syrup.
maple syrup.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't call that a faucet. I don't know what I would call it.
a tap.
I guess it's a tap. And like on a beer
Yeah,
keg, it's a tap. Tap a
yeah,
keg.
yeah.
I
It's
tap a
doing
keg.
the exact same thing. Aren't words weird?
Yeah, I love them. They're way more interesting to me than numbers.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, for me, they are.
Numbers are also pretty fucking weird. Do you know about the 3x plus 1 problem?
No.
So it's a problem in maths, right? So there's a formula, 3x plus 1, right? So what it is like a little kind of loop. So you take a number, let's say 27, right? It doesn't matter what the number is. Take a number, you times that by 3 and then add 1, and then that will give you a number. And then depending on whether it's even or odd, you take that resulting number and you either do the same thing, 3x plus 1, or you divide it by 2.
It's
And
called the
you
Collat's conjecture.
yeah, and you just keep taking that, whatever n is, the output of the sum that you just did, you plug that into n, right? And then whatever n is, that's the new number, and you keep doing it, and eventually your answer will be 4. And then once you hit the number 4, you're just stuck in a perpetual loop. It will go
'Cause
1
it
2
becomes
4
1.
1 2 4 1 2 4, because you're either doubling it and adding 1, or you're dividing it by 2. And so the problem is to try and find an integer, an initial starting value for n that doesn't end up in the loop. Maths is weird, man. Numbers are weird.
Yeah, they are. I just like words better. I'm not a. I don't have as much of a. I'm not hypernumerate. I am hyperlexic. So
Who
my
created
brain is
numbers
biased
again?
towards words.
Neither am I. Neither am I hypernumerate, but I think that's partly why I find it so fascinating, because I don't really understand maths. Like,
And
like
that's
if you were to
probably
ask,
why zero. That's probably why zero looks the way it does. It's a loop in itself.
maybe, or it could have something to do with its original, Arabic was it,
I think it
Who
was
created
or
numbers?
was it
Hindus.
Indian?
Who
Yeah, it might have
created
been.
numbers?
It might have
Do you
been.
know?
Everyone did.
No,
There are
the first
different.
original alphabet
There are different.
was, and the
Oh,
numbers. I'm just curious.
Do what?
well,
Go
if you're
ahead, Tom.
asking, who created the alphabet, that was, we
The
get that from,
Phoenicians. At least the
Phoenicians.
one we
yeah,
use.
What about
and they
numbers?
probably had numbers as well, right? They must have.
Yeah, I don't
Who
know.
was it that wrote in cuneiform? Because that's the earliest recorded language,
Maybe
isn't it? I
maybe
think
Google it. I don't even
Wasn't
know.
that the Sumerians?
it could
Maybe.
well have been.
I was curious about that though.
Actually, several languages use cuneiform.
All right. Okay.
It was originally developed to write the Sumerian language of southern Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq.
That's
Untrackable, what's
funny.
up? How are you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing good. Good to see you again, and
too.
everybody as always.
You too? Just hanging out.
Yeah.
Nice. The great Islamic scholars created algebra. I know that. I'm not sure which ones, but definitely came from the Middle East and Islam.
Bex, I would agree with everything except the word pathological. It's paraphilias have been depathologized just like sexuality has by now. At least in Western psychology.
Psychiatry.
Julius Caesar.
I call it all psychology because psychiatry is more the medical subspecialty of it.
Yeah. Yeah, but isn't it the psychiatrists that come up with the pathologies?
Oh, it's a whole team. It's a whole committee. They've many different degrees that participate. You talking about when they're putting together the DSM?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I suppose just through practice. Well, I suppose no, that can't be true. Psychologists must also come up with what a pathology is in its definition and its meaning through practice. Any psychologists in the chat?
It's done through the APA, which is the American Psychological Association, and the National Institute of Mental Health. And the APA is the one that put out those guidelines for working with men in 2017 that were highly biased against males and stigmatizing of completely normal, ordinary male behavior. That's where I think a lot of this. It gave a lot of support for the toxic masculinity like push against men. Oh, that was so Merriam-Webster still has pathological? Interesting.
Very interesting.
Very interesting because that's very outdated as far
Pathological.
as my
Yeah.
experience with the kink community. Oh, the UK has their own version?
Oh, of course, we have our own superior versions of everything.
Oh, let's see. Is it called the DSM?
Yeah, probably. I think it is.
Everybody has fetishes, I think. Women and men.
Oh, anybody
course.
can,
Well,
yeah.
Of course.
I don't know
Women
if
and
everybody
men both
does,
have
but certainly
fetishes, but I
anybody
don't know.
can.
Yeah.
Not
Oh,
everybody.
Because
that's a
now
bold statement to me.
the trans people are calling genital attraction to genitals a fetish. So if you're like a man and you're not attracted to a trans woman, then you have a vagina fetish. Like you have a fetish for vaginas.
I'm fine
That's
with
just
that.
a genital fetish. It's not
I'm
Well, hang
actual.
on.
I'm fine to have a vagina fetish.
I'm a man, and I might be attracted to a trans woman.
Yeah.
Because
it has a dick. Yeah.
but I'm probably never going to be attracted to a trans man.
Trans man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's the opposite.
Does the
The
trans
opposite.
woman, is that pre-op or post-op?
He's talking about
Um,
Would it make a difference?
Another example of
trans
so
man,
many things people
pre-op.
get confused now.
Sorry, all right, hang on. Trans woman. Sorry, pre-op.
Pre-op, but if they go post-op,
shot.
that you might lose the attraction.
I'm not really into. I don't find
Veg.
the concept of.
He doesn't like the veg.
The reconstructed.
Well,
fetish.
no, it's more than that because there isn't a vagina there.
Right.
And
Oh,
what
yeah.
I'm finding unattractive isn't so much the actual parts in this instance. It's the mind that requires the individual to mutilate their body or to substantially alter their body intentionally. And I'm so like, yeah, because it, like, to me, it indicates that there's something within the mind, within that person's mind, that I'm going to continuously find myself in conflict with.
Oh,
This is me
interesting.
rationalizing it on the fly, though. I haven't really given it much thought.
Oh, take care, Tommy. I'm with you. I'm gonna do Eagles today, so I hope we win. Go Eagles. Go team. I think the Giants Eagles game is starting.
But
I think
I would say, like,
sorry.
if your fetish was, for instance, like a skirt, and that's your
worn.
Like there's schoolgirl fetishes. People like.
Hey,
Yeah,
let's just leave it at skirt.
Right.
Are you? And this isn't. I'm not asking personal. It's kind of in general. But if your fetish is the skirt, are you going to be surprised when there's something under that skirt that maybe you have also? You know, because I've seen some things, and when it comes down to it, it was like, oh, that is so hot. But at the same time, um, it kind of ruined the fantasy once I found out what was underneath the skirt. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, I could see that.
But
That
did
would
the
probably
fantasy
ruin mine
persist?
too.
Right, here's the thing, Happy, right? If the fantasy persists, then that would indicate to me that there's that a man convincingly dressed as a woman is something that you might find erotic in some fashion. And like, you know, I'm not judging. People can like whatever they like as long as it's consenting adults. It's all completely fair game as far as I'm concerned. But if once you realize, oh no, I'm not interested now. Like if that's a genuine response you have, then I would argue that the fact that you might have a fetish with the skirt then becomes irrelevant, because you're seeing a skirt on something that you don't like, and you're not going to pursue the fetish. You're going to pursue something else, and that's also fine. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like it's a bit like what I was asking Jeff earlier. What if you're attracted to feet, but you don't care whether it's a man or a woman's feet? It sounds like a similar sort of
Because
area
to me,
of
men
questioning.
and women's feet are different. Like men can have
What both?
hobbit feet. Women have little delicate petite feet. So they might look different enough for the attraction to not be there for one of them. Well, Bex is on. What do you call like the person that does the research on a podcast? The fact checker. Bex is on it today.
You'd call it. What would you call it? I mean, what's the kind of producer attraction? Sounds oddly robotic, doesn't it?
The urine monkey. Is that a thing? Male monkeys wash with urine to attract females. That sounds nasty. But I guess if it works.
I
Guys,
quite
you can
like.
try that if you're having trouble
I quite like
working for the
Shanti.
monkeys.
I quite like Shanti Deva's passage on sexual attraction in the Bodhicharyavatara. It's pretty fucking hardcore.
Which book?
The Bodhicharyavatara,
Oh, I don't know.
a guide to the Bodhisattva's path. So the story goes that in the 8th century, in Nalanda, India, there was this monk called Shanti Deva whose nickname was eat, shit and sleep, because that's all he ever appeared to do. And then as a kind of prank, some of the other monks kind of dared him to give a teaching. So he stood up and declared the Bodhicharyavatara, which is a kind of book. It's one of my favorite books. It's a Buddhist book, you know, from Mahayana Buddhism. It's got 6 chapters, and each chapter is kind of to help you easier become something called a bodhisattva, if that's what you want to do. So it kind of tells you how to do that in a way. And there's a chapter on sex where he's asking the reader questions like he describes the body as things like a bag of pus held together by sinew,
A bag of what?
and then a bag of pus.
Pearls?
Pus, P-U-S.
Pus. Oh, okay.
like this kind of sack of disgusting things, and then he's like, so what are you attracted to? Like, and he says, you would not drink the piss, and you would not eat the shit, so why are you happy to swallow the spit?
I would
You
pick
know,
spit over those other two any day.
it makes me
Seem
think.
too weird of a thing.
It makes me think kind of biologically too, because I was introduced to this word fitness, and growing up, you know, you're taught fitness is like how you stay alive. You know, you do exercises, whatever. You look a certain way, whatever. But from what I learned in a simple biology class, was fitness is about your attractiveness to prove points. So it's not just the color of your feathers. It's not just um, it's about what you do matched with your appearance. So like when you see people, we see bodybuilders, we see these fitness experts and stuff like that present a body that seems a certain way. But are you actually going to use your body to provide for your partner? You know what I mean? Because you could six pack abs, big shoulders, you run, whatever. But if you're sterile, um, naturally that becomes a negative in the definition of fitness.
Well,
So
if you view fitness as something that primarily pertains to the survival of the species, then yes.
Yeah, it's it's the context you're using it in.
yeah,
But that's on a kind of a different order of action than, say, you working out in the gym because you want to be able to enter a race, right?
yeah, and all of it kind of comes together when it's like, okay, what are you doing with your life? Are you gonna? Okay, you won the race.
Well, I'm just using that as an example for one might want to get fit running, like you might be a professional marathon runner, in which case
I
one
guess
could
where I
argue,
was with the idea of attractiveness, and I took it to the fitness based off of what I've learned about that word. So the
right,
attractiveness
yeah.
is, what is the purpose of attractiveness if you're not going to, you know, get together and produce?
Well, you can
And
ask any gay at the gym or at the gay bar. They can answer that one. They spend a
I mean,
lot of time on their fitness, and none of them are producing.
I mean, you could try and make the argument that there's a kind of an evolutionary case for that. I'm sure probably that evolutionary psychologists have, formulated theories around that. But I don't think you can use that to explain like all instances, or even most perhaps, of why we view physical fitness as being somehow desirable. Because one, I think, fairly important distinction that we have from all of the other species on the planet, so far as we can tell, is that we can make decisions consciously that run counter to all principles of survival of the species, and we quite often do, right? So, like,
I
you
guess
can't.
it's of the human fitness. Like
Well, yes,
again,
but we're
there's
animals,
a lot of
and
time on,
you're kind of mentioning
but at the
you're
same time,
mentioning
a very popular thing to have what's called a dad bod. If you've heard of the
right.
dad bod,
Oh yeah, uh-huh.
and that's somebody that doesn't care, that's not narcissistic. Be like, oh, I have to look this way because the way I look is going to get a mate. It's more about what I do, and what I do, it takes me out of the gym sometimes.
But I don't know if all fitness people are is out of narcissism. It feels good to be healthy and look good and all of that. It's not necessarily narcissistic, or they're doing it for strictly for appearance. I think it's kind of a whole person way of approaching fitness. It's diet, exercise. It's they meditate, they do yoga. It's like a lifestyle type of fitness. I don't know. I've just never associated fitness with narcissism in particular.
I mean, I would imagine that there are. What about the kind of gym bros? Like
I mean,
if
there
you're,
probably are narcissistic people that
it's like
are
yeah,
are
it's
drawn
like
to it,
any
but I think there are
activity,
people
isn't
that
it?
that just care about their health in general that are also drawn to it. Well, Joe, you have anything else?
Nope, I don't.
Okay. Looks like it's winding down.
Yep.
Right. Well, yeah, it's getting on for six o'clock, so I'm going to bounce. It's nearly
You're
tea
in the
time, as we would say over here in the real
six
world.
6 p.m. is tea time.
Well, say between 6 and 8. The kind of evening meal.
Oh, well, okay. Well, how does it work then? Do you have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then what is the tea part? How does that play?
Well, tea is just another word for dinner.
Really?
So, yeah, depending on where you live in the country. So, if you live in London, or you're much less likely to refer to that meal as tea time. You're much more likely to refer to it as dinner time, and lunchtime as lunchtime. But in other parts of the country, lunchtime is referred to as dinner time, and dinner time is referred to as tea time. So, and there are probably many more regional variations on what they locally call.
So if I was at your house and we were sitting around, we had lunch earlier, and you'd say it's tea time. That's you telling me it's time for dinner. That's the evening
Yeah.
meal. Oh,
But
okay.
I'm probably, because I was my first 10 or so years was lived in London, so I'm actually my tendency is to refer to the midday meal as lunchtime, but I still might call tea time depending upon who I'm talking to. So if I was asking you, do you want some dinner, I'd probably use the word dinner, knowing that you predominantly use the word dinner.
Oh yeah, because I'd get confused. I'd be like, "Oh no, thanks, I don't drink tea," and then I'd starve. Because
No, see,
back home I grew up with breakfast, dinner, and supper, and I kind of like
right,
what you
okay.
said. So it's interesting to hear that the British also call the midday
Well,
meal
we also
dinner.
have supper, but supper would be a much later meal. Supper would happen much later in the evening.
Oh,
So
after
that,
tea, so you could have tea and
yeah,
supper.
yeah, if you're
Wow.
greedy.
Yeah, how
Right,
do y'all
so
stay so
supper,
slim compared to us?
well, we move,
Oh,
you know.
all right, touche. Well, Shiva, you have anything you want to leave us with?
All things arise, independence upon conditions. See ya.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thanks a lot. It was good to see you again. I hope you keep coming back. Joe, take care. I hope you have a good day. We might end up doing some games later in Discord, so maybe
Okay.
we could pull you in.
If I'm done with my article by then, I'll hop in.
Okay, sounds good. I have the
Alright.
day open, so if people want a game or watch movies or whatever, hit me up on Discord. And here, if you're not in our server yet, let me drop my Discord name. Hang on, why isn't it? Find me at the same name, Gen X Jeff on Discord, and I will send you an invitation. Okay, I'm gonna go do something recreational or productive or constructive. I hope you do the same. There's a game on. Go root for the Eagles, and I'm sure I will be out later this evening. So take care, everybody, and see everybody then. Thanks. Take care.